Hey guys, this is Roger. I'm mad. I need to vent. Will you be my counselor today? I talk a lot and you hear me, and maybe I bug you with this about letting them know that you have a buyer's agent, the builders. There's a thing called procuring cause. That means who is the person that got you interested in this community? Now, for a lot of us, I'm probably the procuring cause in that I'm posting a video about every day now, and you're learning a lot about the Charlotte market. New homes, new home construction, new floor plans, et cetera, et cetera. So you may watch my video, and I hear this all the time, I just didn't call you, I've been watching you for a year or two. And that's fair, but hopefully we can do it a little different once you hear the end of the story, because this is pretty interesting, the reason that I'm mad today. And so I'm gonna give you a scenario that did happen. I had a couple from South Carolina, Hilton Head area. They called me and talked to me about a particular neighborhood. And so I talked to them about it. We had a little email exchange. 2 days later, they came in town, and they, like many of you, want to just go in on your own. You don't want to waste my time. You just want to poke around. You go in, they hand you the card, you sign the card that no, you don't have a real estate agent. That's problematic. So then they go in 2 days after they talked to me, and we had a little email exchange, and then they decide that they want a contract a few days later. So I called the agent and I said, they want me to represent them, buyer representation, buyer's agent. And the sales guy said, let me check the registration. Oh, well, they came in without you, and that was some days ago. Unless you can prove to me that you talked to them about the community, which I was able to with that email exchange, then we're not going to compensate you. The problem with that is that brochure in North Carolina called Working with Real Estate Agents is supposed to be presented at the first substantial contact. So for instance, when they went in, he should have given them that brochure and explained that I work for the seller, but you have the right to have a buyer's agent. Builders don't do that, and that, to me, they're in violation because they don't explain to them. I work, as you hear me ranting on, I work for the seller, the builder's rep, but you have the right to your own representation, and oh, by the way, we'll pay for it. You know, how did you hear about us? Do you have somebody that you'd like to use? They don't do that. They go for the deal. They go for the deal. And even though it's the sales agents, really not their fault necessarily, it's a big corporate structure. But here's what really angers me. Even though I was able to get on and that transaction and help them, I'm not a hop-on realtor. You may have heard me say that before. Call me, I'll tell you what that means. I don't just try to hop on deals. But these people wanted buyer representation when they were ready to go to contract. So that's scenario one. Now, scenario two that made me angry today, I talked to my broker partner, Rodney Jones, about a woman that had called me a few months back. She said, my husband's already in Charlotte, and I'm a couple hours away, and we're trying to reunite there and get a place to move into. So I said, okay, same neighborhood that they were interested in as scenario number one. I said, well, I'm going to have Rodney Jones reach out to you right away, which Rodney began going back and forth. Well, they had, in fact, gone out to that neighborhood as part of their research reconnaissance and registered without a real estate agent. So now it's maybe a couple of weeks later, and Rodney calls the agent, same agent, by the way, and probably not his fault, and says, hey, are you willing to pay me? They want buyer representation. And he said, no, we're not able to pay you because you don't have anything showing me that you talked to them about our community, before they came in. So you know why that's terrible? Because now if that guy wanted buyer representation, he'd have to pay out of his own pocket, let's just take a number, 10 grand. Most people aren't going to do that. I had somebody do that for me once because they were really for them because they did want the expert help. However, then that guy, knowing that he needs advice from a buyer's agent, offered my agent, hey, can I pay you, an hourly rate for your advice? And of course he said no, because that's just not the way we work. We put our expertise on the line. It's not like a, $50 an hour. It's worth more than that. It's worth our years of experience. And so I'm not going to justify that. We know some things. That's why you call us. That's why you watch the videos. So having said all that, it's critically important. Number one, the builders should be ashamed of themselves for not explaining that people have the right to buyer representation and they're willing to pay for it right up front. just like the North Carolina Real Estate Commission tells you to. When you meet with us, one of the first things we do is pull out that brochure and have you sign it that yes, we explained it to you. The reason it really hurts because we care about people, not just about the money, people. We do it for a living, but I care about that man and wife that are going through this process now without an experienced new home construction buyer's agent that will show up at the pre-construction meeting, that will show up, make sure everything's right, that will show up at the design center if you desire, that will go to the pre-drywall meeting, that will help them order inspections, interpret that, explain it, know how to talk to the builder about it. There's a certain way to talk to the builder, and it's a certain dynamic if you have an experienced buyer's agent than if you're trying to do it yourself. Number 3, go to the homeowner orientation. Look at the final inspection. Go to, all of that, the final punch. Go to the closing. That's what we do, an experienced buyer's agent. And there aren't a lot of them, honestly. Most agents don't want to wait 6 months to get paid. We don't care. We want what's best for you. Most agents don't understand the process. Rodney and me, we're in model homes for years. So here's what I'll tell you. Him a lot more years than me. Here's what I'll tell you. Let the agent know, online or on-site agent, that you want buyer representation at your first substantial contact. Put down Prosted Realty. Put down Rodney Jones, or just look at my current roster in the description below. And there's videos where you can meet them who I'm working with now, and just put that name down. Just pick one. You don't have a contract with us, so we're not going to hold you to it. But if the relationship develops and you see our work, our help is valuable, then we will contract before we purchase. But the first thing we will do is explain to you the laws of agency. That's what realtors are required to do. So now I'm not so mad. I got it off my chest. I hope you hear my heart that I hurt for that buyer, that because the builder didn't explain it to them, they already had engaged me and Rodney. Now these guys have to go through it at the mercy of the builder without any help. That breaks my heart. Can't wait to talk to you. 704-345-3400, and I'll see you in the next video.